I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved them know what that little line was worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live in love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that the special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? That humbling poem titled The Dash is by the wise Linda Ellis. Russ Graham Stedman was a man who never wasted his dash. Russ never sat idle waiting for life to happen to him. He squeezed all he could out of each day. What's most admirable was that Russ wasn't just making the most of life for himself. After meeting with his beloved wife Lily and children Scott and Maddie, I've learned of a man who was extraordinarily generous with his time. Russ would go out of his way to help anyone, never saying no and never resenting anyone who needed a helping hand. But mostly there was nothing he wouldn't do for his family. Foremost, Russ was a loving, caring, supportive and strong-willed man. To Lily, he was her rock and childhood sweetheart. To Scott and Maddie, he was their greatest mentor. To all his grandchildren, he was a fierce supporter of all their endeavours, no matter how quirky. To his cherished soccer club, Russ was a man to be admired and respected. To many, he was simply an all-up good guy, a kind soul and a friend for life. I'm sure it's no surprise to anyone who didn't already know that Russ was in fact recognised as Volunteer of the Year several times at his soccer club for the hours he spent mowing lawns, sweeping pitches and simply fixing things. Even when sick in hospital, Russ was not one to wallow, although he'd been entirely within his respected right to do so. Instead, Russ would be sitting up in his hospital bed on his iPad contributing to the soccer association from his room. Always contributing, always careful with how he spent his dash. But as the only person here today who didn't have the great pleasure of meeting this remarkable man, I'd like to welcome forward some of those closest to Russ who can recount his legacy and articulate the impact he had during his time here.